Yes, so last session, we opened up with your group face to face with this elder brain dragon you had encountered in the depths of the Illithid camp nest hideout. You went into combat. The elder brain dragon dishing out quite heavy amounts of damage around the party, in particular hitting Nick and Errand, I think, with its brine breath attacks, spitting out just loads of illithid tadpoles all over the two of them. During the combat, Elwyn, in his usual hiding at the end of every turn, hid extremely well at a point where he went missing for a number of rounds, missing from the room entirely. Whilst gone, a few intellect devourers also got involved in this party, attacking Errand, John, and Nyx, but Nyx taking the worst of it and having his intelligence dropped to 0, which immediately made him unconscious. Elwyn returned shortly after that, accompanied by Carl Garbin and the lingering ghostly souls of Warforged and Eleanor, who seem to be tied to the rapier, which previously belonged to Warforged. With these additional reinforcements, you were able to defeat the Elder Brain Dragon, at which point there was a rush to sort of look over at Nyx and sort of ascertain what the current situation was with Nyx. Whilst that was going on, Arthur climbed up on top of the defeated dragon with the intention of going and ensuring that the brain was sliced and diced. However, the brain raised itself up on the tentacles hanging from it, and you then went back into combat against this elder brain. Another heavy combat, not quite as bad as the fight with the elder brain dragon, and you were able to defeat the brain. Carl was able to retrieve one of the rings, which was being worn by the dragon on one of its claws, taking that off and then choosing to wear it himself.
Yeah.
I think the praise was "Come and get it, you fuckers."
Yeah.
With the party and the former, now returned members of the party all reunited, you taking the still unconscious body of Nyx, you started heading back towards the that teleportation ring which initially brought you here. As you neared it, some of the party, I think Errand, spotted some movement. One of the walls of the cave actually seemed to be moving. At which point, the Uniter and 4 accompanying an elf, a half elf, a orc, a half elf, a half orc, and 2 humans, 2 dwarves. Jesus, my notes. Were alongside him, and a confrontation began. The Uniter initially appealing to Eleanor and Warforged, assuring them that this was the same friend they had travelled with in the past that they thought they had lost, which seemingly died at the same time as Warforged. But there was that attempt to convince it was not entirely successful. There was then a mad dash to get to the ring. Warforged using his some of his lingering soul abilities as a poltergeist, moving some rocks around to create a bit of a diversion to slow the approach of the Uniter and this party he seems to be travelling with. there was as Erend carried Nyx down towards the brass teleportation ring, Arthur insisted that the rest of the party should go, but everybody sort of formed up around Arthur, agreeing to stand together and to sort of face up with the Uniter. Arthur, though, kind of quite forcefully pleading with the group before convincing them that they should also head off. The rest of the group carried on down towards the portal, or the teleportation ring. The Uniter turned the corner and cast Power Word Kill on Arthur, who was below 100 HP, but had helpfully and smartly cast Death Ward on himself before you headed into the Illithid nest. Power Word Kill launched out, hit Arthur, but had no effect. The Uniter stood there kind of in shock for a moment, giving Arthur enough time to catch up with the rest of the party, just in time for you to reach that brass teleportation ring, and Erend to use the runes you had been shown to take yourselves back to Griffinstill, where you arrived in the lower levels of the archives, which was where we left things last time.
So what you're saying is we were trying to grab the brass rings.
Yes.
Brass ring is good.
Yes, so we open up. It is... Oh, sorry, give me one moment.
I preferred my recollection of events on the notes, but clearly Sam didn't want to read those.
I haven't read them. We'll go and take a look now.
Specifically the last bit. I think I put it far more eloquently. I'd argue I'm correct.
Yeah, indeed.
What the fuck are we doing now, by the way? Like, what's the plan? Other than sleep.
If we're particularly lucky, United's just going to step through the ring following, and that will just decide the next few rounds.
No, that would be very bad.
Yeah, it depends how many level 9 spell slots he has.
Yeah, if he's got none more, great.
Sorry, I was getting a wobbly tooth update from Lizzie.
Oh.
How wobbly is it?
It's extremely wobbly. I'm pretty sure it's coming out this evening or tomorrow.
Exciting times.
Yeah. So we open up. You are on the lower levels of the archives, freshly teleported in. The group, kind of worse for wear, to be quite blunt about it.
I feel perfectly fine, to be honest.
The worst of all being the still unconscious and less intelligent than ever Nyx. As you guys arrive back, you are in that chamber on the lower levels. Doesn't seem to be anybody else in there as you arrive. What do you want to do, I guess?
Step out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we all run out of the ring just in case it activates again and someone comes through. There's no one in the room with us other than obviously our people.
Yeah, it's just your group.
There were people in here when we last came down here, though, right?
There were, but it has been some time past. But yes.
Okay. Do we just go get help, or do we just leave?
I feel like we can't leave this unmanned if he comes through behind us.
Did Zerviel, before Zerviel became the United, did Zerviel know how to work these?
Doesn't matter if Zerviel knows, he's being controlled by Uniter. Uniter might know.
You need to know the runes for this side. and
Okay, well, no matter what, we need to get help for Nyx. We need to get Nyx to, a priest, a wizard, a someone that's going to be able to cure this ailment. I don't know much of this city's medical expertise, if I'm entirely honest. It's not something I'm aware of, but I think he's going to need a pretty decent dump of some divine magic.
Possible around this one right there. I suppose if we ask someone, they'll know where he is. But I didn't.
Carl looks over at you lot and says, take him upstairs. Are we in the place where where's he died? Is this the
You
main
are.
room? Yeah. Take him upstairs. We'll guard here for now.
I think Errand was actually carrying Nyx currently, but I will offer to carry Nyx. Probably a little
So
less strain on me.
Yeah.
To be clear, I being John, not Eleanor.
Mhm.
Eleanor will offer. But
We're in a place.
It suddenly looks familiar and quite unpleasant.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's the secret floor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand where I stood before.
I'll grab one arm after it.
Yeah, cool. And I guess me and you will definitely start going up the stairs to see if we can find some help. I don't know who's coming with us, if anyone is. Probably not a normal thing for ghosts to be floating around the city.
Oh, actually, 1 second. I need to. Oh, two character sheets is hard. I can do
Yeah.
a thing.
You can possess someone, right?
Yeah, when I possess someone, do I disappear?
Yes, you do. It is worth. Yeah, I think you'll catch of some understanding. Warforged and Ella, you are aware that you are somehow tied to the rapier which Carl is carrying currently. There is a limit to how far you can travel away from that rapier.
It's very upsetting that it's the same object for both of us.
We need to talk about that.
For the sake of simplicity, can we say that off camera, John and Eleanor struck up a marvellous relationship, are fine friends now, and thus Eleanor wishes to possess John, and John is quite happy with it.
Absolutely.
To make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, that is fine.
Yeah, I will possess John.
Yeah.
While possessing, can you just ride along?
Yeah.
So John doesn't lose any.
There's so if you are being possessed by lingering soul, there is no drawback for you at all. If it's a willing possession, it just on the possessee's turn, they can essentially use you to make a physical attack. I think it's just like weapon attacks. I don't think you can use like their class abilities and stuff, from what I recall. If it's like an unwilling one, then it works slightly different. But the general thing is the same. Essentially, you get to take your turn through their body.
Technically, I do have something which can harm my host. Maybe a few things actually, but they're like feats. So I can do this thing, piercing chill. I'm not sure if it's just me, like being whatever I am, spirit guardian, or whether it's the same for Warforged as well. But anyway, it's fine. I think we can also communicate telepathically, right? So I'll just be a voice inside my head for a little while.
That's cool.
That's fine. Just makes it easier that way.
Yeah. Piercing chill is just a basic lingering soul. So you've both got that one, yeah. Any of your subclass specific stuff, I think, has a different image. I set them up differently, but yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah, the Spirit Guardian has a Spirit Guardian image. Cool. Oh, I can use sympathetic mending, right?
Hey,
I'm going to sympathetically mend Archery. Once I've done that thing.
Erin says that she can at least set an alarm here.
That's a good idea.
That would warn us if someone crosses through, say, this doorway.
That's a great idea.
I mean, it won't stop anyone, but it will.
Well, to be honest, whatever we do ain't going to stop them. So that here is for Archware.
Yeah.
It's plus my
+5.
+5, and John gets 5. I also have access to this ability up to 4 times. I've done it twice now. Would it be possible to add a usage?
Yeah, I'm literally doing it now. Yeah, one sec.
Okay, yeah.
It's per long rest, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. That's all set up now, and it will actually roll it when you do it from now on as well.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, I reckon it's a good idea actually, because we ain't going to stop them really when they come up, but at least we know.
Yeah. So, in which case, if you start carrying him up, it's going to take her 10 minutes to do
10
that.
minutes?
It's a ritual.
No, don't worry about that. I'll do it here. You go.
Sure.
It is my last level 1 spell, but I don't think I can ritual cast anyway, so I'll cast Alarm there.
Nice.
Lovely.
On the, not there obviously, like on this door here.
Yeah, that's fine. Nice. So, Carl, you're staying guard down here, are you?
Well, if we've got the alarm, then I'm thinking maybe not.
Yeah, I think we don't need to. We'll find out if someone comes out, and if they do, we'll just, I don't know, blow up the ceiling in the archives. That works, right?
I don't really know what we're going to do. If yeah, let's go.
Nice. Yeah, you you leave the alarm on that door, and as a group you begin heading up. As you get out of that sort of secret floor and back onto the lower levels of the archives, you come across there are some guards, some of the city watch, waiting there. One of the first to sort of turns and sort of looks at your group as you sort of make your way up there is the familiar sight of Wenda Dusklight.
Well, we know this one.
You do.
I don't, right?
No, actually, John probably doesn't.
No.
Eleanor will fill him in.
I think she told us to get Anne. I think
she was the one that said to get the fuck out of there.
After we brutally killed. Oh wow.
Oh, but no. So John hasn't met Wenda because we met John on the way.
Oh yeah, so you're right. John hasn't
Folk.
met, but Arthur
has.
Yeah.
Briefly.
So you'll probably hear. I don't know, we can talk telepathically. At some point, I look like a bit like I'm talking to somebody, but I'm not talking to. Like my eyes and stuff. It's me and Ellen's filling me in on who this is. Except she does it Eleanor style, so I think she's now Carl's girlfriend.
You see a few of the guards sort of turn and look in your direction. There seems to be a group of them sort of in the archives. Wenda looks over your group, and you see immediately there is there's a look of kind of initially almost kind of the initial look as she looks over is one of kind of this is like joy or relief, and then the face almost like she gathers herself quite quickly, goes back to this sort of stern, serious look, and she immediately marches over towards your group, and kind of goes up quite quickly, almost sort of face to face with Carl, she stops and she just stares you silently in the face for a second, Carl. And you can see there's clearly like a sense of anger, just annoyance almost in your direction, and then she looks at you and she speaks. She says, "I told you never to come back."
Things have changed.
What trouble are you in now?
This is so much bigger than Griffin Steel. This is so much bigger than us. We're I've seen a god, and they're coming to destroy the world.
When there's not even like there's no kind of like shock, surprise as you sort of say this, and Wenda sort of nods at the rest of the party as she speaks to you, Carl. She says, your friends, they've already told the Emperor. He's put the whole city on alert. I've heard the whole story. Is this really true, Carl?
Carl puts his hand on her shoulder. This is true. This is really what's happening.
She her face actually she breaks into a smile, almost like a slight laugh. She the final days of Austria, the final days of the world, and we've got Carl Garbin.
We've got us. We've got people that will stand up and fight the gods.
She continues. She sort of just looks at you and she responds. She says, Are you going to tell them you're back in the city?"
It's better they think I've gone. Going to be dead soon anyway.
They're both safe. I've been watching them while you've been gone. Do you not think they want to know you're back? They would have read everything that's been written about you, but they, for all your faults, they would know you're not a cold-blooded killer.
Take a step back, and Carl just sort of sags a little and then stands up straighter, and clutching his fist, I'll cost firebolt. Mm-hmm. Just up into the ceiling. I don't know what I am anymore.
And Wenda looks surprised. You see a couple of the guards almost don't sort of go towards you straight, but you can see they sort of go on edge as you sort of do that. Wenda kind of, she gestures over to them like to sort of calm down, sort of gestures down with her hand, like just trying to lower the sort of tension. And she turns back to you, Khan. She just says, if you're messing with magic, that's that's not something they would like.
Carl just laughs. Messing. This is so far beyond messing.
This is Carl. This, and she sort of points. She points to your hand where you'd cast the spell. She goes, "This is why James isn't here. You know that, right?"
It's dangerous.
But you know best.
No. Don't ever think that this is under control. You can't control it. Once the snowball starts rolling down the hill, all you can do is run with it. And that's all I've been doing. And that's all I'm doing now. Just running. On stop. I can't go. That's why I can't see them. I can't stop. It just follows me.
You've been running as long as I've known you. Nothing changes. Nothing changes.
One difference now. We know what we're running from. And now maybe we run towards it.
Well, your friends have convinced the Emperor, I can tell you that much. He's got people coming from everywhere. They're preparing some kind of summit of leaders. There's elves coming. People from Shate are coming. Like, whatever your friends have told the Emperor, he's fully on board with this snowball you're running from.
His grandfather, even he didn't start this, but what he's done has affected it.
And as you're speaking, she looks over at the party again, and then she seems to spot Nyx in more detail, seeing that something's not right. She steps forward immediately and reaches out to Nyx. She goes, What's happened to this one? He's unconscious? What's going on?"
He's really fucking stupid. He's been hit with something. I believe the hospital in Griffinsteel's actually dealt with something quite similar, or has had reports of it. Right, we had someone else that got hit by this that went to the hospital or went to a cleric, right? Or did we go to? Shit, we might have gone to the Backstreet cleric. It's something that should be fixable with a little bit of clerical intervention.
Clerical intervention. Well,
something's stolen his will, and
yeah,
we need to get it back.
It's at this point she then turns to look at the lingering spirit of Warforged, and then the head sort of pulls back a little bit. He died.
Well, yes,
but
no.
Able to stick my head out of the body that I'm possessing as well.
100%.
That's not at all freaky.
I do that and say, so did I.
The fuck? And that she sort of steps back. And you see a couple of the guards again, sort of immediately sort of go on sort of some level of alert. And she's like, you can see she kind of doesn't even know what to say. She sort of stands there, kind of speechless, and she's like, Carl, what the fuck?
Magic bullshit, am I right?
Magic bullshit. This is magic bullshit.
This is the bullshitest of magic bullshit.
I'm not really sure where the laws of the city stand on ghosts. Stay out of trouble?
You know better than that at this point, right? We'll try.
She turns to one of the other guards. She says, take word to the Emperor that they're back. And then you see there's almost a realization. She turns back and she goes, did you bring the ring with you? Did you get the ring back?
Yes, we did. We were successful. Got the ring back. Killed a massive dragon. Scuffled with the Uniter. Successful time all round, really.
The Uniter? He was there?
Oh, yeah.
You killed him?
Little twiggy fella. No, we didn't. We were a little bit worse to wear after fighting a, dragon. So we took the escape route.
She turns back to that other City Watch guard again. She says, tell the Emperor they're back. They've got the ring. And one of their party is worse for wear. They encountered the Uniter. Let him know immediately. And that guard he nods. And you see him sort of dash off and start heading up the stairs to some of the higher levels of the archives. And she turns back to your group and she says, so your friend, the assassin, need my help? Or is this off the books kind of situation?
Assassin? Who's the assassin?
And
I'll
she
points at Nix.
He's not, is he? Oh, I can show you, Miss. Sorry, was it Dustbat? Was it? Well, this one ain't assassinating nothing for no one for ages. Not until I fix his gun, that is. Anyway, my name's John, by the way. It's about Jahan.
Wenda, Wenda.
Are you your Hell's girlfriend?
He told you that? No. No. And you see, she sort of looks at Carl. No. Shakes her head. No. No offense, Carl.
I start having a silent argument with myself.
Oh, yeah. That took me a sec.
Nothing. No. Carl's like Carl's that uncle that kind of slips you something you're not supposed to be drinking at the family get together. He's that kind of vibe, if you don't mind me saying, Carl.
That's probably accurate, but don't listen to what John says. He's not from around these parts.
Well, that is true, but it wasn't me anyway. It was her. She told me, but I think she was having me on.
I think she might have been.
My apologies.
That's
Mrs. Dustin. Is it Is it Constable Duskwright? Sergeant? Captain, is it? But I don't know. I forgot.
Sergeant.
Sergeant Madam Duskwright.
My question stands. You're gonna solve this one?
I think so. That might be best.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, she turns back to speak to you again, Carl. She says, is it your life is your life. I'm never going to tell you what you shouldn't do. You're too stubborn to listen anyway. But if it was me, I'd want to at least know you were safe. And she
noted.
She takes a step back and she says, you go and do what you've got to do. I'm sure the Emperor will be wanting to see you soon. So, go on.
Just one thing, when if anything comes through from where we've just come from, don't stop the fight.
Are you expecting something to come through?
I mean, you never know, do you?
It's been a few minutes. I think.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
If it hasn't got here yet. I wasn't expecting to be in Griffinstill.
I wasn't expecting you to be in Griffinstill.
Let's go.
So yeah, you guys begin heading up the stairs of the levels of the archives of Thentos. Where are you headed to? Where are you? You just going to dump Nick somewhere, or have you got somewhere in mind?
We need to find Willow.
Fair.
I think, because that's where you guys went before when Carl was dead, right?
When Carl was dead, it was.
So I think we need to find Willow. She clearly knows a cleric, and clerics might be able to help, unless anyone has any other idea.
My people can probably help, Erend would say.
Yeah, they're a little further away, is what I'm thinking, because I don't think they're actually here yet for this discussion, are they? I think they're en route.
They're only an hour away.
Yeah, that's. We'll see what Willow says. Nix is one of Willow's people, if you remember, so they might just be able to fix it. And if not, we'll go to Abahan. Sorry.
Okay.
We need to find Willow.
Yeah.
How the fuck do we find Willow?
Yeah, you carry on up the various levels, getting to the top of the archives, and you find yourselves in the city. There's a few options for finding Willow. You could attempt to make contact with the guild which she represents. Alternatively, there is, of course, you could just go and see her at her entirely.
Oh, she has a
day job.
fucking shot, doesn't she?
She does.
That would be a great shout. We'll wander that way.
All of us.
Oh yeah, we just weekend at Bernie's next, right? Just pretend like he's had a few too many to drink. Carl, you're probably half drunk already, so you can stumble along with him.
Shouldn't we go and talk to the Emperor?
I some of us could, I guess, but that's splitting us up, and I'm not sure that's a good idea in case shit goes down.
Also, I can't split up. I'm not in Warforged, just remember that. From Carl. We can split up other people, but yeah. I don't know what distance is, but hopefully it won't be too far. Hopefully it's not too restrictive. But... Do you know if you get any sort of warning? Would I know that?
Well, if you get to the furthest distance you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a physical pull. Once you get to that point, you were just pulled back. You're just physically unable, but there's no warning until you hit that limit.
Okay, but it's not like I'm going to suddenly disappear and go back to...
No.
It's a shame we can't put you back into the rapier. So you see, so you think Willow?
I think so. I think we all go there, just get that sorted, and then we'll go speak to the Emperor once Nyx is potentially back on his feet.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you can begin heading across town then. You sort of make your way through the city. You do obviously you have one ghost possessing John, but you do have another lingering soul with the party.
Oh yeah.
It's up to you if you want to do anything about that. You don't have to.
Warforged, you should probably do that ghosty thing and not be quite so out in the open, I'd suggest.
Is it not normal for ghosts to be going around?
I don't think so.
Okay, who should I go into?
Who do you want to? Take your pick, I guess. Not John, he's taken.
Carl, would you like a friend? Would you like a friendly ghost?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Okay, that eliminates one person. Elwyn, would you like a friendly ghost?
Oh, go on then.
Okay. Warforged goes into Elwyn. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, you make your way across town with your lingering souls hidden away, and yeah, you reach Gunlowers. It is it's quite late at night, or at least quite late in the evening. It's nearing 10 p.m. But as you near the shop, you can see there is some candlelight inside of the shop itself. And as you sort of reach the shop and you push at the door is still open. It's closed, but it's not locked or anything. You sort of open it up, and as you do, you hear Willow call out. She says, just a minute. And she sort of comes out from the back room of the store, and as she does, she sees your group and spots quickly you carrying Nyx. And she, you can see there's a little bit of surprise in her face. She goes, how? He was... Nobody ever got the drop on Nyx. What? How did he die? What happened?
He's not dead.
Oh.
Something's messed with his brain. It's like lights are on but no one's home kind of thing. we're hoping you can help, or might know someone that can help.
What? You can see she's actually a little bit surprised. Yeah. What happened?
Not sure anyone really got a good enough view. He was getting pretty messed up by a big old dragon with a brain on its back. Then a little brain came along, flashed him up a bit, and he just dropped. Oh, and then there was all the screaming and exploding into like a psychic damage bomb a couple of times. Did that a few times. That was interesting. He stopped doing that now. I don't know if you can tell.
I'd forgotten about that.
Okay. Sure. What do you suggest?
I think we need a cleric. Someone able to cast some sort of restorative magic at a higher level than I'm capable of.
I know a guy. Yeah, cool.
But it would need to be, I reckon, pretty great, the amount of restoration that they could do. Greater than the lesser amount that I can do anyway.
Indeed. Yeah, cool. And you can see she's clearly kind of taken aback a little bit. She's kind of not sure. Yeah, let's go. And she sort of moves past you. She locks the door, and then she sort of gestures for you to come back into the room at the back of the store. And from there, she pulls back a rug, lifts up a hatch, and there's a staircase leading downwards. And she sort of gestures for you all to head down. As you sort of head down, she follows behind, closes the hatch up. She leads you through a system of tunnels before you come upon one of these various any celestial fiend or undead. You get 2 readings for undead.
Okay, ghosty boys, I assume.
They are indeed the ghosty boys. Yes. You don't get anything else though.
She's not giving me anything. That's fine.
No, you are fine. You are fine. In that
Dawned on
respect.
me. I was like, oh no.
No, you're good. Yeah, you you come into one of these sort of larger chambers you've seen before with Willow and Nix's group. And there's a couple of other figures there. It's like a tavern, but there's a few people down here that sort of drinking. Looks like they've got a sort of their own makeshift sort of drinking spot set up here. She immediately dashes over to one of them, whispers something in their ear, and then just sort of calls out. She goes, "Well, now it's important." And you see he sort of dashes off, and she says, someone will be here shortly. Anyway, last time I saw you all, you were going the vampire? You killed the vampire? You were all going to go and you said you weren't coming back. Now you're back. More vampires?
I'm pretty sure we've seen Willow since we've been back.
Have we?
Didn't we speak to Willow before we went in to speak to the Emperor?
Don't think so.
We haven't been back to Willow. No, we've been back in the city. We've not seen Willow, as far as I'm aware.
I say if we have, I don't recall it, and if we have, then she remembers that. But
No, I'm pretty sure we have literally been back to the city to go to the record, to the Emperor, and then to the secret elf people from Abahan. That's it.
secret elf people.
Whatever it is, the Abahanians who are hiding in a tavern
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
We've not been like anywhere else.
Cool. That's now canon then.
That's canon. I've said it.
Mhm.
I have spoken.
So you're all back? Why?
And world's fucking ending, isn't it? Someone's got to stop it. For some reason, it's us.
You can see there is almost a slight look of disappointment on her face. The world's definitely ending.
From what we can tell, it's going to give it a good go, but that's why we're here.
This is not going to be good for business.
You never know. I can imagine things are going to be pretty chaotic once we're done for a little bit. I hear the kind of business you guys might get up to thrives in chaos, so...
Yeah, if you say so. Just
Silver linings. Well, silver linings.
we had a really good thing going here. There'll be nobody left to assassinate.
You can assassinate a god.
And you see, she sort of sighs. She's like, "Who's paying? I don't do this for fun."
The other god?
And there is
Doubt they
like
have much coin.
there is like a slight turn in her head. She's considering it. They might not pay well, like you say, financially, but they might have something to offer. How many gods are there going to be left?
All of them, hopefully, still. Other than one.
The problem in this line of work is the better you are, the ecosystem gets smaller and smaller. There's only so many gods to... Yeah, this isn't sustainable.
Have you thought about taking up a trade? Like bricklaying or...
Well,
I don't know.
When you sell knickknacks in the shop, I'm sure you're pretty good at that. You know, that kind of person who people buy knickknacks from.
what's the general shopping needs of a god, though?
Knickknacks.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you do, first off, it's a god that needs to be killed. It's a god that you've never heard of before. So if you did kill him, it wouldn't actually reduce the number of gods available, at least not ones that we know of. And second off, if you was to kill him, then he wouldn't kill other people, which would leave more business for you, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Does
Okay.
it?
You can't go around killing people if some god's already done the killing for you.
In effect, he's putting me out of business.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes, he is.
Reliably informed. Sorry, I didn't know you. My name's John. Spelled Jahan. Reliably informed that you are very keen in your business.
We're good at what we do. And she sort of nods over at Nick. She's man, he was one of the best. Is he still gonna? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He'll be alright.
That the guy that she sort of sent off comes back and has another gentleman with him who dashes over as he sort of heads over, recognizes Elwyn initially. He goes, Is this resurrection again? And then you see he looks at Nix. He goes, he's not dead. Tell me what happened. What did this to him?
A little brain with legs. A mini Garbanoid thing.
And you see, even as you're talking, he's sort of like, he's just moving his hands like just a foot or so above Nix's body, almost sort of reading at some kind of unseen aura or sense around Nix. And he says, this can be reversed. We can put him back fresh as anything. No problem. And then he stops for a second. He sort of holds his hand. As he's doing it, his hand is just very slightly above the forehead of Nix. And he sort of stops and he's just slowly moving the hand. And he looks over Willow and he says, yes, this is straightforward. This shouldn't be a problem at all. 7,000? And Willow immediately just turns to him. She says, yeah, we will pay it. I will pay it. I will cover it. He's a good friend. You see the cleric sort of shakes his shoulders a little, sort of loosens himself up, and he begins gesturing, moving his hands around over the sort of the head and cranial area of Nix, and he casts Greater Restoration. Nix,
yeah, boy.
You have consciousness and intelligence. You come to consciousness, Nix. The last thing you can remember is one of those intellect devourers just psychically probing in at your brain and your consciousness, and you just immediately there. The next thing you see is just the room above you or around you. Your party plus Carl.
Where's that big brain monster gone?
We killed it, mate. Don't worry.
Oh. Oh, okay. And how... Carl.
What?
Carl's there. I thought he was, like, in the dead place. Right, like, I can't remember what it's called. The other place.
He's back now.
Back.
How?
Magic bullshit.
Magic bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Magic bullshit.
Eleanor and Nix met very briefly, right?
Yes, yeah.
I will pop my head out of John and just let him know that I'm also here.
That's... Oh. Oh, okay. Hello again. Oh, you died.
Was that Hope You Die?
No, I said I thought you died.
Oh, I thought you died.
No, I didn't.
Hope you die.
I am dead. I can tell.
Oh, okay. What happened? How? Where am I? How? What happened?
I won't worry
How
about
have I? Okay. I'll just. Yeah.
Aaron will try and explain to Nix what happened. We were fighting the Elder Dragon, and he was covered in those leeches, and then an intellect ate his brain, or ate his consciousness. But apparently he's better now. She
okay.
doesn't know where the grumpy old man came from, or the two ghosts.
Right.
But that's. But apparently they're friends of Elwyn.
I know one of them, and I think I've heard of the other one. Wait, hold on. There's two.
Yeah, they're hiding somewhere.
Well, I've revealed myself already.
If it helps any, Cormac, you are the other one.
I
Yeah.
know.
There's the girl, the woman,
Yeah.
and there is an automaton. It look like.
Oh, is it the one that the one that we found? No, the one that we tried to steal the body off of or something. I can't remember. It's something
Yes,
like
I think it is.
yeah, that makes sense.
Door forged or something.
Yeah,
Where is it?
the Warforged just comes out of Elwyn like a bit.
I know it.
Yeah.
What happened to his body? Does he?
Wasn't it like sent
Did
somewhere?
we give it to Willow to look after?
Eleanor and Warforged's bodies were both entrusted with Willow to send back to Estabrook.
She. I don't suppose Warforged's body's still here, waiting to go, is it?
It has been some time. She won't always be the most organised, but she's not that slacking. Unfortunately, it is gone.
Well, it would be interesting to see whether he could possess an empty body.
Well, it's time to kill someone and find out. Nix, Willow, as you are speaking with the group, she comes over, she speaks to you, and she says, she asks you where you've been since you left the city. What have you been doing? Like, what happened? How did this happen? Everything. She wants to know everything.
Well, I've just been hanging around with these guys because I didn't really have anything to do. And that was, well, no, not the extent of it, but
These
I
guys,
just killed some things.
they said that you're gonna fight a god.
Well, I'm gonna try. I probably, I mean, I'm just a regular human. Really.
As you say that, you see she sort of screws her face up a little bit. She's like,
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Not human, but I'm a regular being, I guess.
that'll do. Then she sort of leans forward and she almost sort of whispers a little bit in your ear, and she says, if you kill a god, then sure you're the best assassin ever.
I mean, I guess that would make sense, yeah. That'd be fun.
Imagine, like, we could up your rate immediately.
I mean, I could probably, if I did, we would probably all be quite popular, so we could probably give some money to, help out and all that stuff.
The
if need be.
the marketing writes itself.
Yeah.
Hire the God Killer.
Yeah.
This is going to be so cool. Is there... Oh, hang on one sec. My name's being shouted. One sec.
What are we going to do now?
Well, I guess go speak to the Emperor, right?
Yeah, but he's going to go. Well, what do you want to do now?
Speak to the We go speak to the Emperor. We tell him, look, we got the ring. We get everyone together because that's what's happening currently, and we be present for that, right?
How many rings do we have?
How many rings?
Yeah.
Well, there'll be two in Griffinsteel now
Two different.
because the Emperor's holding on to one for us, and we've got one.
Mhm.
And then there's one at the Citadel,
And then
and then
sorry,
the other
so when
the
I
other
said
two have already been used.
when I said how many rings do we have, what I meant was how many rings do we know the existence of, and are willing
I think we've
to
done
fight
them
for
all.
people.
Yeah, we know every single one.
What are the others? Remind me. Please.
So Kulga's just taken one to Harathos. We know that Harathos already had one, be that from Z or whatever, and then the other three we have.
There's 5 rings total.
Yeah, there's 5 total.
So, I'm trying to find the session where we went to the Citadel. Can't find it.
It was a while back.
Yeah, I'm on a boat, Mother. Art falls off a lighthouse. I remember that. It was after that.
It was after that.
Walking on Sunshine. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 rings in total. Hmm. What are we going to do?
I think at this point, our option is how many countries worth of armies can we gather? And we march on Blyburn. And we try and take out the Uniter to get the staff. Blyburn's got to be where Harathos is, right? Surely that's why he's set up his base there. That's all I can think, because we don't know where Harathos is.
Hmm.
Unless Carl and Z managed to work it out when they were following Kulga. potentially in the Blacklands, I guess, because that was where you ended up, wasn't it?
That's where I was assuming
That's
it
where
was.
yeah, I guess.
But is that? But then, do we want to march on Harathos? Do we want to march on Uniter? And is that the same thing?
Well, that's the thing. If Harathos is in Blyburn, if that's where Harathos is, then cool. But I think we need to take out the Uniter anyway, right?
I would agree.
If he's got even part of the staff, we're in trouble. But then it would bode, like, in my head, I'm going, if he's got the staff and it worked, why has he not used it?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's something that maybe the Australs know about the staff and about using the staff.
Mm.
Remind myself because it's been a while. Harathos is currently. Am I right thinking Harathos is chained up currently?
Yeah, he's chained to a stone somewhere.
Yeah, chained
Oh,
chained up underground, I think, is
Yeah,
Somewhere.
there were
somewhere.
there were
Potentially Blacklands.
5 chains, and there are now 3.
Which is the 3 rings that we have.
Yeah.
We think so. I mean, that could all be just a coincidence, but
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, do we really need to go and do anything, or can we just wait?
Well, so what do we want everyone to do? I mean, we've kind of we asked Elliot, is it Austral, to talk to all the people, and then what, to try and unite the free folks against the
Yeah, I think.
shadow.
Try and get as many willing fighters, I guess, as possible together to even just temporarily work together to fight this guy.
I mean, what did Lathander say?
Fuck 'em up, homies. Something
Well,
like
he did sort of, but aren't the gods kind of going, well, he's going to get free one way or another?
that. The gods have basically turned around and said, we can't do anything about this. Because it's not their place to. They don't want to. They basically went, we could leave it and he will eventually, in some unknown amount of time, be let free. Or we can give you a little bit of a hand and you can go fight him. And we've chosen the go fight him option.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're just leaving him to break free and be someone else's problem.
Okay.
That doesn't feel fair.
So we need to address that. So yeah, so I think we take the fight to the Uniter.
I think so.
I'm not sure whether everyone is on board with that. Carl is. I'm guessing Artur kind of feels like it's the job description.
Oh yeah, Arthur is all in. Like, he's ready to kill a god.
Owen?
I'm always down to fight. In the background.
What about you, John?
Well, I don't really see the need to go and find him. You might as well set up a base and let him come to us. But if he wants to do it, then I'll do my best.
I understand the thought process there because it kind of feels like we hold all the chips, right? And he will come to us. But at the same time, that I feel like just gives him more opportunity to get more powerful or to be more prepared.
Yep, I think it's a very fair argument. I'm a little bit cautious, but I do understand. And yeah, if that's how you feel, then I will. You've got my tinkering, 100%.
Nix? Nix, what kind of price would you put on the Uniter's head?
Sorry, Nix was also with me.
Okay.
We had to dash off to deal with an existential crisis about what it means if your tooth falls out. A minor meltdown, but it's sorted now.
That's a bloody good question.
Where were we? Sorry. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Someone remind me what was happening, because I honestly can't remember. Oh yeah, Nix had come back. Willow thought it would be a great business idea to have a god assassin. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This all rings a bell.
It's good 2 ways for her. Because she has to advertise that she has a god assassin. And also, all the humans and other mortal beings are still alive and thus not going to get assassinated. Are there to be assassinated.
Willow, has anyone put a contract on the Uniter?
No. I've seen his name. I've seen all his things, but no. Do you want to? I know a god assassin.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
If you want to hire him, he's available.
What's the price?
She, you see, she turns and she looks at Nix and she goes, Nix, what's the price? Nix.
Hello?
Oh, Nix, you're there.
Sorry, what?
Willow just sort of turns to you, Nix. She goes, I've got somebody that might be interested in hiring you.
Who and what for?
She points at the party. They want you to kill the Uniter.
Okay. By myself?
And she leans in at this point. She actually whispers in your ear, sort of quietly. And she goes, how much do you think they've got on them to pay?
I think they spent it all. You see the one with like the really, really shiny armor?
Mm-hmm.
Last I remember, they spent most of the money on his armor. Sword. So probably, I mean, I don't know how much of that.
And Nix was unconscious when they were robbing the dragon.
She steps back and she goes, His price is pretty high. I'm not sure he's going to help you. You could hire me to do it.
What's your price?
This guy's got an army, hasn't he? You just want him dead, or you want his whole army?
Just him.
Nix, you've seen this guy. Tough?
I mean, I've seen him kill multiple people by, kill someone by just saying something and pointing at them, and they just die.
That does sound pretty scary. $30,000? Half up front?
We'll have to talk to our investors.
Friends rates. Friends rates because you're friends with Nix. 25,000, 10 up front.
We pay 10 gold up front.
You can see she rolls her eyes slightly.
10 gold a week.
10,000 gold up front.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I got confused.
17 when the job's done.
I mean, yeah, we'd have to speak to someone with a little bit more capital behind them than us. That's well out of our price range, but not out of the price range of some of the people we work for. So,
well, the offer's there, but all prices, all quotes are subject to change. I'm just saying.
makes sense. Sensible business decision. Well done. Right. Well, are you feeling up to walking about next?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feeling good?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Awesome.
Should be fine.
Oh, before I forget, mate, and you'd see Arthur slings like a rifle off of his shoulder and passes it over to you. Picked this up back in the Dragon's Horde. I assume it's something you might be able to make use of. And passes it over to you.
What is that?
Good fucking question. I don't know.
I think it might be a gun of always jamming.
Yeah.
Oh god, not again.
From what I can remember, it's a magical rifle with a blue dragon's horn on the bottom of it.
It is in your inventory, Nix.
I was gonna say it wasn't in mine. So I couldn't send it. Dragon Bolt Blaster.
It's fun.
Oh. That's...
Oh, that's nice range. G10 lightning I hit.
Are we all leaning over Nick's shoulder now, reading the label?
The manual, the user manual.
Oh, you get advantage if they're wearing metal armor.
Oh, nice.
Oh, but it has a chance to break if you ever take.
Ignore that.
Nobody wants you to have this, Nix.
Oh, that was me. If you want to hold key to interact with card is the same key as the X key.
Oh, handy. Yeah. You were the only person without a magic weapon, so that is, or any way to do any kind of magic damage. So that is solved now. And amusingly, there's a potential for you to essentially misfire by rolling a 1 if you take lightning damage. Lol.
Wait, what? I can misfire again.
If you take 10 or more lightning damage, you roll a d20. On a 1, the gun breaks. If any other result, it does more damage on its next attack because it takes in the lightning and throws it back out.
Oh, that's cool.
Only if someone hits you with lightning damage, but yeah.
We've got enough lightning bolts. It's fine.
Exactly. You can power him up.
Oh yeah, wait. That. Hold on. Okay.
Cool.
It's a lot.
What did you guys want to do?
I think head back to the castle or wherever it is that.
Speak to the
That's,
Emperor.
yeah. Yeah. We need to go. We need to go speak to the Emperor. Work out what he's doing in terms of people.
That's cool. Yeah, you make your way back across the city to the Emperor. When you arrive, you are ushered inside pretty quickly. The Emperor, he sort of, it's quite late, but as you arrive, he's already heard, been told that you are back in the city via the City Watch, via the messenger that Wenda sent. He seems quite eager to sort of meet up with you and discuss. Immediately, he sort of asks you if you've got the ring. Did you find it?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Erend will step forward as well and say yes.
So now we have two of them here. You said you have one more in your home. And he sort of nods at Arthur.
I nod back.
So that leaves two more to be accounted for.
Those two more are already accounted for. He's already got them.
That's unfortunate. What does that mean in terms of the wider threat?
It means Harathos is breaking free of his confinement.
Okay.
It means it's only a matter of time.
Okay, well, we have three of the rings. He has two. And the Uniter, I was told you encountered the Uniter.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, again, this is Erend rather than Carl. We got there before him and were able to steal the ring just before he got it.
That's good.
I think so. I hope so.
So, okay, well, the ring was the most important thing. We have that. There's our messages have been received and responded to. As many leaders as would agree to meet us are on their way. They'll be here. They should all be here tomorrow. We can tell them. We'll tell them everything you have told me, and we'll explain the threat this is to all of us. They will understand. They will have to understand. And What of your group now? You still wish to be part of this?
Oh yeah. Can't speak for everyone, obviously. That wouldn't be fair, but I think the general consensus is pretty on it.
He turns to you, Kai. He says, you are a friend of this group, I understand, but you are also wanted for murder in this city. I also understand you had quite a illustrious career with the City Watch.
I had a career. I'm not the foot.
I'm told you were rather skilled with your fists.
Not all of us have weapons our parents passed down to us.
And he smiles. He says to you, My father passed little down to me than his disappointment and his title. There were no weapons passed down. But I see your point. You should all rest. This summit will be ready to take place tomorrow, and your first-hand experience with the Uniter, the rings, and the larger threat that looms over us. Your words will be vital in convincing the collected leaders that their support is of the utmost importance. You're welcome to stay here as guests this evening, should you wish.
It's a very generous offer. I mean, I know for one I could do with a good night's rest.
Yeah. In that case, unless anyone has any objections, I guess you can all take a long rest.
Thank God. I'm back to over 100.
Safety.
All that matters. Am I really only attuned to one item? Yeah, okay. Whatever.
I'm stingy with magic items, I think. Blame me.
Well, I've got a few like magical, like my shield is technically speaking magical because it's +2, but obviously it doesn't require attunement, so it's like, eh.
Oh yeah.
I think also we probably went too far in our previous game.
Oh yeah, I think so.
There is that as well, I guess. Yeah. You were
But,
rather spoilt.
Well, we're in Griffinsteel at the moment. On that,
Yes.
that night, Carl would like to have cast Identify on the ring. Done it one before, so I'm assuming it's pretty much the same.
Let me briefly consider.
Yeah, I am specifically interested if it has an option for attunement.
Let me briefly consult my notes for what I've told you when you identified this previously. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I need to remember which session it was that we last got one. That we last looked at.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so previously, I believe, according to...
Session 56, if you want to see what I wrote down. That's what
Oh,
you
what,
told
let's
us.
keep that. Cool. That will save me going through my private
Last
notes.
set of stuff on there from session 56.
Oh, yeah, handy.
I've had one since then as well, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I wrote it down though because it was the same basically.
Yes, so there is. Let's see. So previously, you already knew. As a reminder for the things that everyone learnt previously, the rings can be attuned to, but not through. It seemed like there was the method of attuning to it was outside of the normal attunement system. There was some either additional requirement or something needed to happen other than just simply like standard attunement. The increased the wearer's abilities to persuade and deceive others. It also carried charges to cast spells, some of which you were able to recognise as Suggestion, True Seeing, Dominate Person, and Death Ward. There was also a transmutation ability to the ring, which allowed it to change its form or appearance, and also a sense of longing from the ring, as if it required or wanted something. With some additional time to identify this ring, Carl, and having spent some time with them previously, you can pick up a little bit more information. You get all the information you had previously. You also are able to you can sense from the ring as you spend some time with it and spend some time identifying it. It has the ability to change its form and to transform its sort of shape, size. You're able to, although you do not activate it, you can't activate it as such. You're able to recognise it. It can be used as a weapon, not in a magic sense. So it can transform into a physical weapon. Seems like a relatively strong physical weapon. You saw Kolgar, obviously, when you fought him previously. In fact, you even saw his ring transform from an adamantine longsword into the ring itself, and you recognise this seems to be something that can be done with somebody that has a connection with the ring, can sort of turn it into an adamantine longsword. You also get a better feel for the attunement requirements of the ring. There is essentially to attune with it, there is a requirement, the need to agree to some kind of promise or pledge. Without attempting to attune to the ring, be hard to identify exactly what the deal or the pledge or the agreement is. But there seems to be to attune to it and really be able to use the power that it has. There has to be some kind of deal made or agreed to.
Can I get any idea of how long that might take?
Yeah. Spending a little time with it. It feels like the actual attunement process would be instantaneous. The issue isn't really the time. The issue appears to be geographical. The ring, as you sort of spend time looking at it, almost sort of teasing the idea of attuning to it and trying to attempt to attune to it, you become aware that that sense of longing which the ring has is actually a longing to be in a particular place. It almost, as you sort of, even as you don't fully commit, but even as you sort of hold the ring and you just begin to consider attunement, it just begins longing at you to travel southwards.
Okay, it's the Blacklands then. That's where he is.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely must be right.
and the Kulgar's ring did not have that sense of longing, so it had already been there.
Yeah, makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it's got to be the Blacklands, isn't it?
Well, it feels like we could probably use it to navigate.
Possibly, but I feel like that's maybe risky business. Tempting fate with attuning but not attuning.
I wasn't even thinking tuning, just following the.
I mean, yeah, you've got to get slightly close, I guess, for it to give you that urge, but I don't know. It's good information to have.
Is there anything before this summit of leaders takes place? Is there anything anybody wishes to do during the day in the city, or anything at all like that, or just with their time in general?
Errand will pretty much straight away. In fact, I need to change spells. But she will, without consulting anyone else, teleport back to Abahan to the people there. Nothing particularly special, but she will just report, back on what has happened.
Yeah.
As thoroughly as she can, and she will try and get an idea of what the temperature is, what they're feeling.
There's some tension, certainly. There's also a sense of surprise as you speak to the Order. There is a sense of surprise. They are quite almost shocked, actually. The Lord of Abahan, Ilianos, he has accepted the invitation from Austrial to go and take part in this summit. Something which seems to surprise the Order of the Magi, and even yourself would be quite surprising. Ilianos is quite open about his feelings towards humans, and always has been. The fact that he has accepted this summit, the sort of general whispers around the city and around the Order seems to be that may have been somewhat swayed by the party having been in Abahan, and the Uniter having been, more or less at the city gates in his search for the ring when you arrived there previously. But even then, there is still quite a sense of surprise that he has gone ahead and accepted this offer to travel to Australia. Beyond that, the mood in the city of Abahan is relatively calm, but the Order of the Magi themselves, they are on quite high alert. They are still scrying regularly upon the Uniter. They are aware of this sort of massing of forces, this army essentially at this point, which he has brought together. Through this scrying, they are able to tell you that whereas previously the Uniter had been in this sort of snowscape you had identified previously, is back on Blyburn at this point, on the island of Blyburn, alongside this army they have been amassing.
Excellent.
Define excellent.
That's good. It's good to know. It's all
More
useful.
targets for a lightning bolt, isn't it?
Yeah, and they haven't instructed me to steal the ring off of Carl. I will let them know where the two rings are.
Okay. Yep.
In that Carl's got one, and the Emperor was wearing one, but is now not, I believe.
Snake.
Yeah. Being honest. and then I will beg a teleport back from them.
That
if
can
I
be
get away with
provided,
that,
yes.
so that I can just burn one spell slot, which I will do.
Yeah, no worries.
Just in case it all kicks off today.
Nice. Is there anything else anybody wants to do? Take care of?
Yeah, I can't remember if Eleanor knows whether her parents got out of the city or not.
I'm briefly trying to remember that myself now. Yes, I think she did. Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't think you ever did get that any certainty on that, did you? No, I don't. I'm pretty sure you didn't.
In which case, Eleanor and John will go on an adventure.
Nice.
To spy on her parents, or to sort of see if they're about, and also just to show John the city.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me get. Between John and Eleanor, I'll get you to make a investigation checks for me. See what you can ascertain. Oh, what a pairing! Look, what a pairing.
Why are they? Oh, well, okay. I guess it's just so they're green because it's the Parthenon. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, between the two of them, they are able to spend some time looking into what has occurred or what has happened since Eleanor was last well, not even here, last alive, I suppose. The home of Eleanor's parents appears to be empty currently, vacated. You look in, peering through some of the windows. You can see there do appear to be belongings in there, but there's no sign of any kind of life or anything. And you're able to sort of get into the house as well. There's no sign of any kind of recent usage at all. There's a small amount of food in some of the cupboards in the kitchen. All sort of long past its sort of best. It looks like there's probably been nobody here for weeks, if not a month plus. You're also able to ask around via John to sort of not raise too many suspicions. John is able to inquire with some various sort of neighbours and nearby people in the area. Nobody seems to know what happened to the occupants or to Eleanor's parents. A couple of people speculate that they just seem to disappear overnight. But nothing has been seen or heard from them for quite some time, and nobody seems clear at all why.
Oh, that's a very poorly timed yawn. Okay, cool. So the next port of call would be the. No, I don't know. Did they have any family friends, like not nearby but like further away?
Yeah. There is one person, like a close family sort of friend who is not too far away. You can sort of put John on the sort of trail of, is able to track this family friend down, a friend of your mother, one of the few sort of friends she's made in Griffinstill in the time that you've been there. And she tells John, she's a little bit gossipy. She makes it quite clear that she really shouldn't be saying this, but she tells John she just has a sense that you've got there's some kind of good within you. And she tells you that she was contacted, actually she was visited by Eleanor's parents the night that they sort of left home, left the city. she tells them that they were they told her that they were planning to head back to Estabrook, to where they'd come from, back to the wharf. They were rather rushed and a little almost panicked. They seemed less that they were leaving under some kind of threat, more that they were concerned that Griffinstill was not a safe place to be any longer. This friend, she sort of trails off as she's speaking. She trails off and she says, she sort of makes mention to what a shame it was that Eleanor was not with them, but they did seem strangely, not that they weren't bothered by it, but just they didn't seem like they were worried by the fact that Eleanor was not with them. And she just sort of shakes her head, and it was just all so strange.
Ooh, I will thank them for their time and tell them that I can't tell them how I know this, but I know that Eleanor was very fond of her parents, and so it was not easy for her not to be with them. But if you do ever get in contact with them and they want to return, the danger in Griffinstill has passed. And that's all I'll say.
That's cool.
If they question me on how I know that or how I know, just I can't tell you that.
Forehead out of the solar plexus. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I'll leave and spend the rest of the day just having a nice little
Jaunt around in memories.
Yeah, well, I also just a touristy trip around the area.
That's cool. Anything else anybody wants to take care of?
Can I
Pre-summit?
find myself a new companion, one that flies?
No more.
Pepper's been gone for a while now.
You don't want a
I
new
want
wolf?
No, I'm gonna go for something that flies. Something to help scout the area better.
Something that flies. Sure, you could spend a little bit of time. Have you got anything in mind?
No. I just thought I'd see what I could find.
Big ass bird.
Big ass like a bird, yeah.
Let me remind myself briefly the requirements, and then I will. What is it? Chance rate of a quarter or lower. Okay, how about let me look through my list of animals. I'll see what I can tempt you with. This is going to be a bit like the generation game, I think.
I'll probably take the first one you offer anyway. Or the second.
To 1/4, so that is too high, but that. Something that flies. How about a. No, a bat is extreme boring. I will find for you a bloodhawk.
Bloodhawk, that sounds fine.
Yeah, so you spend a little bit of time just on the down by the sort of coast, down by the sort of docks of the city. Spend a bit of time just sort of communing with nature, with your sort of connections you have as a ranger with the wild. As you sort of spend time sort of just communing like that and sort of kind of openly appealing out to any kind of beast that may respond, you spot just over the horizon, just sort of flying over the water, a large bloodhawk, which slowly sort of begins heading over in your direction. You're able to sort of like to just commune with it and to become the best friends an elf and a bloodhawk have ever been.
Good old Hawky.
Yes, surprisingly, its name is Hawky. Unless you want to overrule that, and you've got about 3 seconds to overrule it before it becomes canon.
No, Hawkeye seems the name.
Excellent. Hawkeye is crowned. Cool. I will sort out a character sheet for Hawkeye.
Yeah. Pepper went back to Elwyn's hometown to
Nice.
look after the rest of the pack.
Sounds good. That's cool. I will sort out a sheet for Hawkeye. Hawkeye the Bloodhound. Hawkeye the Bloodhound sounds like a great name for a band. I'm going to remember that. Cool. Anything else anybody wants to take care of in particular?
No, I don't think so.
3, 2, 1. No, you're out of time. Tough. Cool. Yeah. So you'll have some time around before this summit. There is around the city itself. There is just a sort of, not even excitement, but there is a sense. There have been a few dignitaries arrive this morning, and there's a lot of rumours around the city. There is obviously the Uniter and these pleas to form an army to take on the new gods has been sort of open knowledge now for some time, but there is a sort of murmuring and rumour that something more is taking place. The citizens are kind of aware that some dignitaries have come to the city, and there's sort of rumour from a friend who has a neighbour whose husband sort of works in the city watch, and there's lots of sort of talk of some kind of threat, something related to the Uniter, something that is, obviously required this quite momentous summit to take place in the city. And there's a sense of kind of not even tension, just unease and uncertainty about exactly what this is that is taking place behind closed doors that the general populace are unaware of. In the sort of mid-afternoon, you are summoned to meet with the Emperor in that same sort of dining chamber where you have met him a couple of times previously. As you arrive and enter into the chamber, there are a number of other people already here, sat inside of the chamber as you arrive. Around the table, you recognise initially Elliot Ostrill, the Emperor, but there are some other people. Eleanor, you have not met, but you recognise. That's a good question. Lingering souls, possessed and hidden, or open? I guess.
Sorry, I missed that. Can you repeat that? What's that?
For the two lingering souls, are you going into this as souls, or are you possessing and hiding away?
I'll remain hidden now because I don't think that we didn't reveal ourselves earlier.
Yeah.
The important people to start
Warforged?
with.
Yeah.
Are you going into this meeting openly as a lingering soul dead spirit, or are you going to possess somebody and hide inside them?
I'll possess someone. I'll hide.
Who are you possessing, just so I know?
Elwyn again.
Is that fine with you, Owen?
Yeah, Ellen's fine with that.
Tremendous.
Chill out with Warforged again.
Eleanor, you recognise around the table the elven male that carries the current Prince Dwarf, the title Prince Dwarf being a kind of ceremonial title given to the elected leader of the nation of Dwarf. There are also some other elves sat around the table. Aaron, do you recognise the Ilianus Neritimar, the leader of the city of Abraham? And you also, through your work with the Order, you recognise the other ones around the table. Folwyn Eurixis, who is the sort of pirate leader of the elves of Kazan. Erlen Keenmamor and Lensa Lunala. Between the four of them, they are the current lords of the 4 of the 5 cities of Shate. And sat at the end of the table, there is a short dwarven gentleman. None of you recognise this dwarf or have met him before, but looking at the other people around the table, knowing this what this meeting is, you can assume this is Vardell Emberforged. This is the leader of the dwarfs of Shulk. As you enter, the Emperor sort of ushers you in, and he sort of extends his hand and introduces you to the people gathered around the table, and he says, my friends, this is the group who have brought this warning to me and have been extremely helpful in allowing us to gather 3 of these 5 rings so that the threat can at least be withheld and controlled for some time. And you see the group will sort of look around and sort of take you in. As Ilianos looks around, he meets your eyes, Errand, and there's quite a cold look as he does so. You can almost sense there is a slight, not disappointment, but he certainly doesn't seem infused that you are sort of, that the order is kind of so tied into this situation and this group, this party.
As he looks at Erin, Erin will look away. She can't meet his eyes.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's definitely not happy.
And Vardell, this dwarven gentleman, is the first. He speaks up quite quickly and he says, Emperor, this warning, this situation you've gathered us here for, it is of most concern, but you will forgive me for wanting to ask of this group for some kind of assurances of the validity of this threat of which you warn us. And he looks over at your party collectively. He just sort of nods, does a bit of a gesture, a sort of welcoming nod to you, and then he looks at you and he says, I'm a man of few words, but I recognise a threat when I'm told of one, but you must understand this is quite some claim the Emperor makes. What proof have you?
I will take the ring off of his finger and flip it or throw it fairly casually onto the table in front of him.
Mm-hmm. As you do, they all sort of just sit back a little. There's almost a slight sense of fear or trepidation. They've clearly been told some information by the Emperor already, and you can tell from the way they react, they are aware of the rings. They've been filled in to some degree on them.
And Carl will say that will look over at Ilianos and say, Abahan has seen the Uniter, which they're cities, and seen the destruction caused by the Uniter in the town who's now forgotten.
Abahan has indeed seen your Uniter. That is correct. Abahan also extended protection to this group when they came to us first with their threats and their warnings. In fact, one of our trusted of our order travels with them, and he nods in Erin's direction. Abahan has already done much to aid in whatever this threat may be. It is frankly disappointing that the leader of the humans of Australia now feels it right to call us here and explain to us the threat when we have been on the front line already. And he turns, he looks over at the other three representatives of Shate, and he looks at each of them and he says, "We are already a nation which has been poorly treated by our hosts today. As I understand it, this empire has questions to answer about the recent death of our own High Lord, and yet we are expected to sit here and listen to how you now need our help so badly." The female of the elves, she speaks up at this point. She turns from Ilianos and looks over at the party herself. And she says to you, Ilianos is correct. This empire we sit in now as guests, they have done much to harm our people in the past. There would be many of my own advisors and my own people who would say that if this empire turns to us now in need of help, then it would only be fitting for us to wish them the best luck in whatever threats they face. Our people have their own problems to deal with. Elliot sort of sits there a little awkwardly. As you sort of look at him, you can almost see there is... Elliot is not the most commanding leader, probably not even the most confident leader around this table. And there was clearly an awkwardness in the air as the sort of hints of previous tensions between Austria and Shate are sort of brought forwards. But Elliot sort of adjusts himself in his seat somewhat, and he does speak up, and he says, the quarrels of our fathers and their fathers are really not what is of importance today. What matters is our children and what we do today to ensure their safety. I sympathise entirely with the plights of the people of Shate in the past, and I also extend my sympathy at your loss of your High Lord. But I can assure you, Austria had no hand in what took place. Austria did not kill your High Lord, nor would it wish to. Tensions between us are only those that linger from those that are unable to let the past rest. Ilianos snorts at that quite dismissively, and he sort of turns straight back to your party, and he says, rather than deal with this emperor of a nation which is barely older than I am, let me ask you, as the supposed experts in this situation, what is it you need of Abahan and of Shate? Or are we just here to bear witness to the fall of the Austro Empire?
I'll step forward. Yesterday, I stood in front of a god chained to a rock who has sworn to destroy everything. You say, why should you care about an empire that's not as old as you? But you're a child, you're not even an infant compared to this creature, this Harathos. If he becomes free, then if you can sit on your elvish island and laugh while the rest of the world burns, only until you burn.
The dwarf Vardel interrupts the discussion at this point, and he says, you make reference to a chained god. And he turns, he looks at Ilianos, and he says, my own people, we have a connection with the world. As we mine in the depths, we have an understanding with the land itself. And much has been off balance of late. We have had miners coming back talking of whispers in the darkest of tunnels, of voices urging them to dig and to go deeper than ever before. Some of them have even spoken of visions of a giant chained to rock. That may be coincidence. My father always taught me that there was no such thing as coincidence. There's a meaning to everything. If the Emperor of Austria is sure that this threat looms over us, Chalk will stand with Austria, will stand with the people of Thentos. Elliot smiles at this. He sort of nods gratefully at Vardale. And Elliot sort of points over at your group again. He says, this group they have come to us with a warning, and they have put their own lives at risk to go and find another of these rings to ensure our safety, to even be able to have this conversation now. There is no reason to doubt them. They stand with nothing to gain from this. These are people who have shown nothing but desire to help and to protect. If there is some underlying bad blood between this empire and some of those sat around this table, I will do all I can to put it right and see that we are on sure footing again. But those sorts of conversations, those negotiations, we do not have time to put aside the past in one day. And he looks over at the eldest looking of the elves and says, Lord Erlen, you are considered a learned man. I'm sure you would understand that if this threat is true, then the time for our disagreements is not now. And Erlen sort of slowly nods, and he turns. He looks at the other three lords of Shate, and he says, "When I get back home, every one of my advisors will call me foolish. But I've seen wars in my time. I've seen threats. I have a feel for when something requires for a sense of more than one's own ego and one's own bruises. The city of Kazan will stand with Austriel. No, the city of Kazan will stand with the free people of Thentos. And if that includes Austriel, then so be it." And Ilianos, you can see it again. Ilianos, there's a look, as he looks at Erlen, of disappointment and anger. The blonde-haired elf, who's been quiet up until this point, he sort of sits back slightly in his chair, and he sort of somewhat nonchalantly sort of injects into the conversation. He says, "What assurances do we have from Austriel that if we send our people to confront this uniter, that this is not just a ploy to leave our own cities unprotected, allow Austriel to come and finish what your grandfather was apparently incapable of doing?" Elliot, he sort of shakes his head and he says, I have no way of convincing you, Lord Folwyn. If you believe this to be an elaborate ploy, then that is your decision to make. But I can only give you the assurances I have done. The leader, Prince Dwarf, at this point speaks up, and he says, "Long has my nation and my predecessors sat in this same awkward position as myself, somewhere between Austriel and Shate. In your disagreements, Dwarf has always made it quite clear that Dwarf and its people believe that there is opportunity to grow from past mistakes. We have stood with Austriel and Shate in the past, and we will continue to do so. As many of our armies that are required, we will provide." At this point, the remaining elves of Shate, you can see they sort of lean into Lenza, Folwyn, and Lilianos. They sort of lean into each other and whisper to each other. And Lenza, she interjects first, and she says, "I do not agree with Folwyn that this is a chance to leave us unprotected. My only concern is in picking fights with gods, if this be true. My people have been through many hardships over the past decades. Picking a fight with a god, that feels like there's only one way it ends." And she turns back to your party and she asks you, "You ask us to side with our sworn enemies in Austriel and to put our faith in your abilities to kill both a god and his avatar, it seems. You believe yourselves up to the task?
Without a doubt. I don't see it as you have a choice, quite frankly, at this point. I think had you really considered that this is not something you wanted to be involved in, you wouldn't even be here. The fact of the matter remains, this is a threat. We know this is a threat. This threat is dangerous, and if it's not dealt with, everyone is affected. Your choices at this point are help. Potentially, we win at that point. Or, don't help, and he comes for you at some point anyway. The elves are incredibly strong people. You don't strike me as the kind to go down without a fight. Why not fight together?
Lensa smiles and she turns to Elliot Ostrom and she nods and she tells him, "The army of Halif will stand with you. We may as well all die together." At that, Fulwin then turns and he says, My armies will not take part in this. I will not send my men to their own deaths. But we'll provide your alliance with all the ships they need. If you need transport to Blyburn, we will provide that. Past that, Nahastan will play no part in this alliance. He turns to Lord Ilianos and he says, Lord Ilianos, I'm sure you'll feel the same way. Ilianos looks around the table and looks over at the party. Looks to you, Errand. And he turns back, he looks at Elliot Ostril and he says, My father was killed by your grandfather. It's because of your grandfather that I never truly knew my father. And now here you come to me, needing my assistance. He looks over at Errand. Errand. So gone.
No, I was going to say she's looking desperately at him, I guess.
Errand, I already see it in your eyes. You truly believe this matters.
My lord, I believe this matters, and I do not believe that Ostril deserves forgiveness for what they did to us. But I do believe that this man, looking over at the Emperor, that this man would not have made those choices.
So be it. The army of Abahan will stand with Ostril on one condition. Emperor, you will tell your people today, you'll make it known across your empire that Ostril takes full blame for every piece of blood that was shed in the war between our peoples, that you take the full blame of your grandfather for killing hundreds of thousands of elves. And you agree to step down as the emperor of this false empire of yours built upon the blood of my people, and acknowledge yourself as nothing but the grandson of a murderer. And then you'll have my army. Elliot sort of sits there silent for a moment or two. And he clears his throat. He says, it's a deal.
Oh.
I thought he was going to tell the pointy-eared twat to piss off back to his island.
Vardale interrupts at this point, and he says, it'll take a bigger man than the both of you to organise this. We have 7 days, and then we will send our combined armies to Blyburn to face this uniter. And he turns back to your party, and he tells you, you have 1 week, it seems, to prepare for whatever you need to face this uniter, this avatar of the Elder Gods. I suggest you use it wisely. If not, you have cursed many thousands of men to their deaths. And on you that will live. That's what will end the session.
Oh my golly.
You can all level up for me. And we will pick up with a brief 7-day jump forward next week. And you will get your chance to come face to face with the Uniter.
Ouch.
Off to D&D Beyond I go.
Indeed.
For what it's worth, if it affects any choices or anything, this is almost certainly the last time you'll level up in the campaign.
Multi-class.
Yeah.
If that changes, yeah. So if you're planning to do something with the view of it, being part of another decision later on, you're wasting your time probably.
The thing is, Ellen does not have a D&D Beyond character. Just level her up and
yes.
Any things that has to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for the 2 Lingering Souls ones, there's no choices to make it level 14. If there are, I'll let you know. But yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
That was excellent. Well done, Sam.
I really like whatever this module is you've installed for the
Well, the faces.
the faces
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm a big fan. That was
Yeah.
actually really helpful.
I literally only saw it a couple of days ago. Somebody mentioned it on Foundry Discord. I was like, this solves all the times I have to have random discussions with myself.
Yeah.
This is
It
helpful.
was really, really helpful to keep track of things, like who's talking,
Oh, good.
who is in the conversation still, so you can know who you can talk to.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Nice.
So we're going to level 16, did you say, yeah? Level 20, was it, yeah?
Sure, Jay.
Yeah.
22.
You may all level up to level 14.
I'm doing it now. I'm excited. I can't actually remember what I get. It's probably not anything exciting, is it?
Yeah, Carl's is like...
It's not dreadful, I suppose.
Well, no, but it's... Well, yeah, but it's